everyone, welcome back to Hogtown Baseball. So Blue Jays, I don't want to recap the game too much. This image right here, obviously this is what everybody's talking about and the leadoff. I'm going to discuss it just a little bit, but I'm going to go through three things that Schneider really made some mistakes in Game 7. And I'll just say, like, first off, Schneider managed, like, out of his mind. Like, he was on such an unbelievable heater as a manager. Everything went right for him, all the way from basically the All-Star game until he put in Brandon Little against Seattle. And then after that, he kind of became like an average manager. He made some poor decisions, some things that cost the Jays, and I'm going to show you three big mistakes he made in that Game 7. And I actually, like, as they were happening, I was like, what's he doing? Oh my God, why is he doing this? I don't see the rationale. And my wife doesn't watch baseball, doesn't know anything, but watched a little bit of the playoffs, and she's like, why is that guy in there? So let's get to it. So first off, just before we get through this, just like, come on, this play only warranted like a 10-second review by Major League Baseball? Really? Like, you couldn't pan over, show us a different image of the heel lifting, going back on, seeing where the foot is? I don't know. I just feel like that could have that could have been reviewed more. But let's get to the important stuff here. So take my face off here. So first off, this is blunder number 1 by Schneider, if we're to believe this. So, and I do, like, why would IKF lie? Like, people generally don't say anything like this in the media, but he says, with his leadoff, they told us to stay close to the base. They don't want us to get doubled off in that situation with a hard line drive. So, yeah, that's a really tough one to not put on Schneider, because you look at here and you could see the poor leadoff. We all know it, but, like, look, is he even 25% of the way off the base that the third baseman is? So Schneider managed so aggressive all year, and then he got gun shy in Game 7 because they got doubled off a lot. But this was like the one time you don't even have to be aggressive. Like, there's no aggression here. IKF can see the third baseman out of his peripheral vision. He knows that the guy is not coming back to tag him. He also knows that, like, unless it's a line drive right at IKF's body and Muncy makes a catch, Muncy's not in position to tag the bag and get him. So, like, IKF, like, obviously we all know he just has to take half a step more and he's safe, but he could actually take like 3 or 4 more steps. The base runner here could actually be like as far as the third baseman is off. You watch guys in the past, like I remember slow guys like Prince Fielder, Big Poppy, they would be like halfway down the third base line, like almost at home plate, because there's no chance Yokomoto is going to try to pick you off in this situation, right? So the only threat is being doubled off, and Schneider cares about that because they got burned by it so many times. But this was a time to basically not be gun shy like that. So let's get back to here. So that is Schneider error number 1. But this is compounded by a few different things. We'll get back to that in a second. This is the error that mistake by Schneider that I have a big problem with. And my wife too. And this goes into the next mistake he made, which is the big one that compounded everything. So why was Dalton Varsho batting 5 all series and then 6 in the final game? Like, look at these stats. 161 average. He was horrendous at the plate. There was no chance he was doing anything that the Blue Jays needed. So Dalton Varsho either needed to be moved up into the 3-hole, which I know might sound crazy, but that's the way baseball works in lineups. You put a guy who has power and strikes out a lot in the 3-hole because most likely he's coming up to the plate with no one on. Or you move him down in the order and move Ernie Clement up. Like, that's what you had to do here. A little bit of it, you got to give him a little bit of a break because Bo Bichette can't run, right? He was station to station, so that was a hell of a thing you had to deal with. This gets me to the big mistake. Let's look right here. Schneider pinch hit. Schneider strikes out swinging. Gibby, Schneider. I keep calling you Gibby. I like Gibby. I like Schneider.
wow, what a mistake it was putting Schneider in. And at the time, I thought it too. I was like, whoa, what are you doing? Lucas, let's look at their stats. Like, Lucas and Schneider basically have identical stats. One's righty, one's lefty. He wanted the righty batter, so he put Schneider in. But when you're doing that, you also have to think about, like, what is happening here in this situation? Like, what other moves does this limit me to make? So bringing in Schneider takes out an outfielder on the bench, right? Then he leaves, and then you have to have Straw come in. Now, in the next inning, Bo gets on, and you have to take Bo out on the base, but you don't have Straw anymore. And Straw would have got home on that play. So that's a mistake. So, and then they put IKF, because IKF is the second baseman, but you could have done a double swap, right? You could have put Straw on the base, and then next inning you could have put Straw in the outfield, and then you could have put IKF in at second base, in for someone else. So this was a mistake. And then the other thing that this led to as a mistake was you couldn't move Varsho. Like you could pinch hit for Varsho. Obviously, you don't want to. Call me crazy, Gold Glover. You don't want to take him out. But the Blue Jays do have 3 capable center fielders on the roster. Lucas, who you just took out for Schneider, and then Straw, who you just put in left field for Schneider after. So you could have done it. You have 3 center fielders on the roster, and they're all really good defensively. So it limited his options to take out Varsho, because Varsho stunk all series, and you just didn't gain anything by putting Schneider in. Those are my thoughts on the game. Those are Schneider's 3 big blunders. Absolutely, the loss is not his fault. Look, players gotta deliver. They had so many runners left on base in scoring position with 0 out all game, and they couldn't get anything going. So it's not his fault. And also, like, come on, that was a strike by Hoffman. They didn't call it. Next pitch, home run. Like, brutal umpiring all series, but both ways. It was bad umpiring both ways. Very inconsistent, so you can't say that was it, but the Blue Jays really let one get away there. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that, and like, subscribe, leave a comment.